Good evening, Oswego, and welcome to the season premiere of The Real Deal, your source for spoiler-free movie reviews. I'm Brandon Macy.
I'm Connor Brennan.
And I'm Nathaniel Ahart.
4 seasons. Guys, this is our 4th season.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
I can, yeah.
Yeah, well, I've only been around for 3 now, so a little bit. I can believe it a little bit, but it has been quite a ride. So
You've been around, so
Yes.
you've been around for the best of The Real Deal. So tonight on our season premiere, we are reviewing How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World, the 3rd installment of the How to Train Your Dragon franchise, based off of the children's book by Cressida Cowell. There is a lot to say about this film and franchise, but first we are going to take a quick look at the trailer.
This is Berk, son. It was the home of your grandparents and their grandparents before them. But out there, beyond the edge of the world, lies the home of the dragons. And I believe it's your destiny to one day find this hidden world.
You do know my leg isn't a chew toy, don't you? Is this what you want? Yeah.
Seeing all those flashing lights kind of reminded me of Avatar. Did you guys get that vibe when seeing it?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Now I think this is the first animated film that we have critiqued on this show. We reviewed Coco back in season 1 on our Twitter page, but never officially made it to TV. This is technically our first one reviewing an animated film on TV. Now, this is a franchise that almost everybody has heard of, so a 3rd movie coming out after 2 successful releases is bound to get a good amount of hype. So, I went out and I asked a few people about their thoughts on How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Let's take a look at what the public had to say. So, what did you think of How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World?
Aesthetically, I thought the animations were really great.
Have you seen How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World yet?
No, I have not seen it yet.
Are you planning on seeing it anytime soon?
I was thinking of seeing it, yeah, possibly.
I thought a lot of the effects involved in it were amazing, and the story was absolutely amazing.
I might see it next week when I'm more free. I already saw the first one and the second one, so I'm excited to see what the 3rd one has in store. Those movies are just, I love them. They're great.
How would you say this movie is? Would you say it's excellent, good, great, poor? What do you think?
I would say it's fantastic.
What are your expectations for How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World? Do you think it's going to be good, or do you think it's going to suck?
I think it's going to be good. I saw the trailer. I think something's going to happen with the main dragon, because you saw the trailer. It looks like just based on the trailer, but I don't know the series that well, so I could be totally off. I don't know their bond.
You're pretty spot on there.
Oh, no.
The majority of the people I asked about this film hadn't seen it yet, which is pretty interesting. So why do you think most people our age haven't seen it yet?
Well, they've got work to do for one thing.
Facts.
That's the best thing I can come up with.
Also, I feel like sometimes people don't rush out to see this kind of movie. Like, it's not Toy Story. Like, sure, it's popular, but it's not that popular.
It's not a Marvel movie. People
No.
People aren't gonna rush out to see it the day it comes out.
I did, but that's just me.
Of course it's you. Yeah, this movie has been out for about 2 weeks now. But even then, it's still surprising that not a lot of people have seen it yet.
True.
I think it's also the fact that this is more of a children's film than anything else.
But it is very adult in some ways, and sure, they have aspects of that. But,
Yeah,
you know,
series-
it's made for kids, but
Yeah,
it's made for adults.
the series tries to balance the kid and adult elements. You know, trying to offer like something to say for grown-ups, but you got to entertain the wee ones as well.
Yeah, I can think of a few films that try to do that. But what did you guys think of The Hidden World?
I loved it. And this is how I feel about it, and it's the same way I feel about the Star Wars trilogy. Not saying it's as good as the Star Wars trilogy, but it's like Return of the Jedi, where it's easily the weakest one out of the 3, but it's still great. So
kind of like The Godfather in a sense.
I don't think the 3rd one's a good film.
You don't think it's good at all?
I mean, it has good elements, but I don't think it's a good film.
Yeah,
But
so
not bad though.
I found it perfectly enjoyable. I mean, it was entertaining. It was a lot of imagination, that's for sure. But I had only started watching the series recently, so I'm pretty much the amateur compared to both of you, I think. But I pretty much thought it was good. It was good. I liked it.
I liked it too. I'm pretty fond of this franchise because it's good and it's consistently good. Like the first one, I thought was very, engaging to me and the audience, and then the second one did a good job of doing that as well. The third one was not quite as good as the first two, but what I'm noticing is the gradually decaying sequel sequence that we talk about a lot. Whenever a sequel comes out, the quality of the production goes down. I don't think the quality of the third How to Train Your Dragon went down as much as other sequels.
No.
It's kind of like almost like Toy Story in a sense.
See, no, because to me, Toy Story, I think the third one is the greatest animated film of all time. But that's a whole different thing. So
You think so?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
You think the third Toy Story is better than the first two?
I think that's the perfect trilogy. I think they're all 10 out of 10 films.
All right, well, let's talk about the production quality of this film because we're running short on time. So
animation is fantastic.
It's an animated movie, and like this one needs to look good and sound good as well. So let's just talk really quickly about the production design of this film. So what do you guys think of the animation?
It's beautiful.
Pretty standard animation, I think.
Yeah, great to look at.
I wouldn't say standard, because this is the thing. They actually got Roger Deakins to like work on the visuals for it, and of course, is anybody's like ingrained in film, they understand that Roger Deakins is one of the greatest cinematographers ever lived. Yeah. And I think he definitely brings a flair to it. So, and the sand animation is beautiful too. It's like very tangible.
I also liked how beautiful the fog scenes looked at the beginning. There seemed to be more scenes of darkness in this one than the others. So.
Absolutely, and the animation seems pretty consistent with the way DreamWorks does things, and that's one thing I like about DreamWorks films. They're not perfect, but with this film, I think it does a really good job. There's really not much to say in terms of production quality. I think it was pretty spot on. But we need to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to give our reviews on the production, on the screenplay of this film. Don't go away.
We were a little late talking about the production value.
I think it was because of Toy.
We believe in patriotism. We believe in our country. For 100 years, veterans have been impacting our nation through the American Legion. Learn more at legion.org/webelieve.
It's back and better than ever. One student can win up to $25 in cash. All on Oswego's favorite game show, Spin to Win! Every Sunday night at 9, only on WTOP 10 TV.
Welcome back to The Real Deal Season 4 premiere. We're critiquing How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World this evening, a film written by Dean DeBlois and adapted from a children's book. We're going to talk about the writing and how it compares to the book in our review of the screenplay. So Dean DeBlois, he wrote all 3 How to Train Your Dragon films. He directed the 3rd one. So what do you think about his writing style?
I think, okay, so in terms of character and stuff, I think the main focus, like Hiccup, Astrid, Toothless, and all of them, they have great writing to them, but I feel like the writing for the side characters is kind of like deteriorated, and the jokes just aren't as funny. That's one of my main problems with the film.
Yeah.
And also there's some plot contrivances that I was like, come on. I kind of rolled my eyes a little bit.
Yeah, honestly, I have to agree about the side characters. Like, I mean, each of them, it's like they have one quirk about them. Like, twins are always arguing. The girl twin is always attracted to the villain or something. And the tough guy, Snoutlut, was that his name?
I think so, yeah. Jonah Hill.
Yeah, with the black hair.
Yeah,
he always
I think so.
he acts tougher than he really is. Like, it's just that one thing about them, and they don't go much further than that.
I will give my complaints on the way these characters were written. I felt they were all lacking something, especially the villain. The villain villain in the second movie was so evil and so well written that he really had an impact on the audience. But the villain in this one, I just didn't feel the same way.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the villain in the second one was okay, but I think maybe he was more intimidating.
Yeah,
he
was more of a threat.
He was more intimidating in the second one. This villain didn't really feel that, despite his intentions.
Yeah, like I think the main problem with the villain is he wasn't proactive enough. Like, he's not constantly searching for the hidden world. Like, instead of that, he's just relying on the Light Fury, Toothless's girlfriend, soon-to-be girlfriend, who to seek them out.
Oh yes, we do bring up. It's shown in the trailer that Toothless does meet a female Night Fury. She's called the Light Fury in this film, and yeah, they do have a bit of a romantic relationship going on there.
Yeah, it's cute.
I like it because it's kind of similar to the way animals have a romance with each other.
Yeah, of course.
Because they are animals.
Well, yeah.
more than just an animal, though. Let me put that out there. Toothless is great.
Yeah, honestly, it's sort of innocent, like in a Disney animated film. Like years ago, I used to watch Bambi on VHS, and I distinctly remember how the falling in love scenes played out in that film. It was very cute, and I feel that spirit was reflected here.
Yeah, I will say I think the cute relationship and the way Toothless tries to seduce the Light Fury. I'll use that term loosely.
Yeah.
Tries to attract a mate, you know.
And,
it was good.
There's one scene, and no spoilers, of course, but it reminded me of Richard Donner's Superman.
Yeah. I think I see what you mean in that.
A little bit, maybe just a little bit.
So yeah, of course, we also have a basic plot. This movie felt really short. This movie was only like 100 minutes long.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like this movie could have been extended by another 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and I wouldn't have minded because I felt like it was over way too soon.
I think they could have expanded on a few things, but I think the length of it was okay.
Yeah, I think one of the main problems is we don't see enough of the hidden world once we finally see it.
Yeah.
Like it's much smaller than we imagine, and plus it isn't put in any danger by the villain near the end.
It's literally called the hidden world, and yeah, we do see the hidden world, but I want to see
not enough.
More of
it. We need more of it. It's the central plot of the story. You know.
And we don't see it again at the end, so.
Yeah, that is the sad part.
But it looked good.
It looks good. It is a beautiful world, but come on, we want more. I wanted more of this film. It was too short.
I feel you.
It was too short. All right. So we need to take another break, and when we come back, we are going to give our reviews on the performances of the voice actors in this film. You're watching The Real Deal. We'll be right back.
You don't have to wear a uniform for service or sacrifice. Every day, ordinary Americans perform extraordinary acts of courage and selfless service. Please join us in recognizing citizen heroes who have made a difference in the lives of others through their acts of courage and selfless service in communities across America. Nominate a citizen hero today at themedalofhonor.com.
Welcome back to The Real Deal. It's our season premiere, and we are critiquing How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World this evening. This film has an impressive cast of voice actors who helped bring this movie to life. So let's dive right into our reviews of their performances. So, Jay Baruchel reprised his role as Hiccup in this film. How do you think he did?
Well, I think he did very well. Funny thing is, when I saw the first film in the series, I was afraid, and this was back when Hiccup was a teenager, of course, I thought it was going to sound like this really grating voice, like somewhere between little boy and adult, but sounded not right. But surprisingly, the voice sounded very mature for the character, and I'm glad it's continued throughout the series.
It makes sense that he sounds more mature since he has grown a lot, especially since the second film.
Yeah, and as a character too, he has probably the best character arc in the entire series. I always thought Jay Baruchel brings a lot to the role, and he's definitely the standout to me out of the entire class. But also American Ferrera, who plays Astrid, his girlfriend. I love, the chemistry between those two characters, and their voices really bounce off each other very nicely.
That is a good point. It is important even for voice actors to have chemistry with each other, because even though they're not technically acting or performing on a stage, they're still playing as characters. And we see a Toothless there with Hiccup. It's important for Jay Baruchel to have a good chemistry with his dragon. Even though he's technically not voiced by anyone, he's still playing a character. Granted, it's an animated character, and he still has to become that character and develop that relationship with Toothless.
Yeah, because he has to play off of nothing basically except sounds, which is impressive.
Yeah, I mean, someone did voice Toothless's sounds, but of course, no talking voice.
It's like Ben Burt with Wally,
Ben Burt? Is that
sound design or sound man did Star Wars, the Star Wars films, E.T.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So Jonah Hill is also in this movie, which is pretty interesting. You can recognize his voice.
I honestly am not that familiar with Jonah Hill, so it didn't stick out to me right away.
Yeah. Also, they took T.J. Miller out of this one after a few debacles, and I noticed it. Right, I was like, is that T.J. Miller's voice or is it not? And then I looked it up after. I was like, oh, it's not T.J. Miller. But the guy did a pretty good job of trying to imitate him, but it wasn't spot on.
It is tough when an actor who's been with a movie for two movies, he gets taken out and they got to find someone who sounds like him to replace him. It's not always an easy thing to do.
Well, regardless of who voiced him, I thought that character was still as annoying as ever.
I can respect that.
And Kristen Wiig also as his twin sister was also grating. I think.
I can understand myself. I mean, I think she was supposed to be annoying, so that makes sense. But I understand your complaint.
Yeah.
So.
Also, one of my disappointments was F. Murray Abraham as the villain. And he's a great actor because Salieri and Amadeus. But
I need to see that.
But God, one of the things about an animated film like this is the voice of the villain. And in all the good Disney films, you had very good voices as the villain, like Jeremy Irons as Scar, the Lion King, Vincent Price as Ratigan in Great Mouse Detective. But the voice here was more standard and didn't nearly sound fun or not balanced enough to be both evil enough and fun enough. It just didn't feel completely right.
Well, I mean, as we said with the writing, though, he wasn't even that great of a villain.
This villain wasn't even that well developed. No. Do you feel that if they had cast someone else, someone with a more full, darker, or eviler voice, that we would have had a better villain?
I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe just maybe just have the actor F. Murray Abraham put in more effort, or maybe somebody else.
Because the way I see this, you can either have the same voice actor and then rework the villain, or work on villain first and then cast someone to match the description of the villain.
Yeah, but sometimes it's best when you have a natural voice. Like I said, with Jeremy Irons, Vincent Price.
I mean, sure, I'm not saying fake your voice or using a natural voice. I'm saying depending on what order the movie did in terms of production, usually you'll be writing first and then you cast. So you got to cast someone who matches the description of the character.
Yeah,
but we need to take another break, and when we come back, we're going to give our final thoughts and then our final reviews in the void. Don't go away.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone to call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors? What would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
Hey guys, when we're not doing The Real Deal, what do you like to do in your free time?
Well, I like to watch WTOP 10 movies on demand.
Yeah, me too. You know, there's such a wide variety of films that anybody on campus can watch.
And it's free.
And it's free.
How do I get to this movies on demand?
Well, all you have to do is go to WTOP10.com and click the Movies on Demand tab.
Hey, let's go watch one right now to review on our next show.
Welcome back to The Real Deal. We're critiquing How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World this evening. It's just about time to wrap up our discussion. Gentlemen, do you have anything else to say about this film?
Not really, but I loved it. I do have to watch it one more time to just solidify my thoughts on it. But the ending, it definitely brought a tear or two to my eye.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was a satisfying end to the series. I mean, I hope there's not going to be a number 4, but...
Yeah. Honestly, this should probably be where it stops. You can't make too many sequels, otherwise it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and there's a TV series, so...
Yeah, there's a TV series, so why bother making a 4th one? Just keep the TV series going and end on a relatively positive note. But before we step into the void, I want to talk about Bearded Hiccup. We see pictures all over the internet. Do we have a picture of Bearded Hiccup?
Yeah, let's throw it up there.
We see pictures of Bearded Hiccup when they were promoting this film, and it makes it sound like, oh my God, Hiccup, he's gonna have a beard in this film, and he does, but we really don't see a lot of that at all.
No, I think that might also play into the TV show. I mean, I'm not too familiar with it, so I can't say for sure.
I think it was kind of misleading that we didn't see all of Bearded Hiccup, like for the duration of the film that we did. So that was just one thing that kind of bothered me about the film. It was
misleading marketing.
Slightly misleading. But yes, I think it's time for us to step into the void for our final reviews and IMDb ratings. Nathaniel, you are first.
How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World is definitely the weakest in the franchise, but that doesn't mean it's not a great film. with an emotionally resonant story and great characters to go along with it. It's a great send-off to this beloved franchise. I give it 9 out of 10 stars.
How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World is a perfectly enjoyable, good, animated film that does what it can to complete the story of Hiccup and Toothless successfully. However, there is the issue of a subpar villain who isn't nearly proactive enough to be a threat, and the Hidden World is sadly underutilized. However, the animation is at least on par with How to Train Your Dragon 2, and it feels like a suitable conclusion to the series. 7 out of 10 stars.
So what I like about this film and this franchise is its consistency. The first two How to Train Your Dragon movies were excellent, and this one did not disappoint. However, I do wish we had gotten to spend more time with the elements of this film that DreamWorks hyped up the most. But overall, it was a good story, and I'm pretty satisfied with installment number 3 of this franchise. I give The Hidden World 8 stars. That's our show. Thank you so much for watching our Season 4 premiere. Tune in next week where we review Captain Marvel. Make sure you follow the show on Twitter at TheRealDealWTOP, and we will see you next Wednesday. Have a good night.
The second I got on the campus, I knew Oswego was the place to go.
There's a place for everybody at Oswego.
This school just opens the world to you. Have the opportunity to explore and to learn so many different things, not only about yourself, but the people around you and the world.
It definitely is about the student. I felt it to be very about me. Now that I'm here, I can't imagine myself anywhere else.
Everybody can make something, because I think everyone has a spark of creativity, and the reason that I have to keep making is because I don't think my life would be as fulfilling without it. If you make things yourself, that means you're not cowering in fear. You're out there taking chances. That, I think, is my way of saying I love you to the world. All right, now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
David Richey. I mean, they were. Do you think Bryce Harper is Tommy John survivor? Nathan Eovaldi.